It was supposed to be one of the best nights of her life. Red carpet laid out in the driveway, banners with her daughter's name on them, a garage dressed up like a movie set, lights, decorations, the whole thing. Brittany had spent the day making sure her daughter's prom night felt like something worth remembering, and for a few hours, it was exactly that. Then, just before 1 a.m, someone walked up to the front door wearing a ski mask. Brittany told him he couldn't come in. She didn't know him. He wasn't getting past her. He said 4 words, "So we can't come in?" and shot her in the head at point-blank range. By the time police arrived, Brittany Members was on the ground. A teenager's prom night had become a homicide scene, and the people who know exactly what happened that night, most of them haven't said a word. If you are watching this right now, I need you to stop for a second. Cases like Brittany's, a mother at a door protecting her child, deserve more than a mention on the evening news. They deserve to be told fully, completely, and with respect. If you believe that too, hit the like button right now. Subscribe to 3 a.m. Files and click that bell. Every view on this video is a vote that her story matters. Now let's get into it. Brittany Marie Members was 38 years old. She lived on the east side of Indianapolis. Her legal last name was Members, but on social media she went by something else, Brittany Grundy. That name is important, and we're going to come back to it, because it may be the most contested detail in this entire case. What her family wants you to know first is who she was before any of that. Her father, Hollis Members, described a woman who showed up not just in words, in action. On the night of May 3rd, 2026, she didn't send her daughter off to a hotel party and go home. She rented the venue. She decorated it. She was there as the host, the planner, and the security all at once. The party was held at 4002 North Park Avenue, a 2-story yellow house in Indianapolis's Meridian Kessler neighborhood. It was a short-term rental, the kind you book through platforms like Airbnb or VRBO. The property was owned by a company out of Fort Wayne and booked through an agent in Castleton. What nobody at that party knew, or at least nobody has said publicly, is that the property wasn't even registered with the city of Indianapolis. Neighbors have been logging complaints about weekend visitors there for roughly 18 months. Hollis Members told reporters he stopped by the party early in the evening to drop off food. He walked through the setup. He saw the decorations, the red carpet, the banners with his granddaughter's name, a senior at Crispus Attucks High School celebrating the end of something and the beginning of everything. He said it felt good. He also said he pulled Brittany aside before he left and told her to shut it down early. Don't let it run too late. Something in him said to say it. He left. He didn't see any weapons while he was there. Now here is where the story starts to get complicated. Sometime that evening, before the shooting, Brittany posted a photograph to her Facebook page. She posted it publicly. The photo was taken in the driveway, in front of the decorated garage. And in that photo, at least 3 people at the party were visibly armed. For firearms total, 2 of them large semi-automatic rifles with extended magazines. She posted that photo under the name Brittany Grundy. That name, that photo, that timestamp, all of it is now part of an active homicide investigation. To understand why the Grundy name matters, you have to understand what it means in Indianapolis. Brittany shared a mother with a woman named Sheena Grundy, who died in 2016, killed in a murder-suicide at the hands of a man she was with. A cousin, Richard Grundy, spent years running one of the city's most violent and feared drug organizations. The Grundy crew was connected to multiple homicides on the east side. Richard is currently in federal prison on a narcotics conviction. His own daughter died in an accidental shooting while he was locked up. Members of that crew have been killed, wounded, or incarcerated in the years since. An associate known as Lil E, Eric Butler, was shot at a tire store on the far east side not long before the night Brittany died. That is the shadow the Grundy name carries in Indianapolis. But Brittany's father is emphatic. His daughter used that name, but she was not part of that world. She did not associate with it, Hollis told reporters. And he pushed back hard on what was already spreading across social media within hours of the shooting, that what happened at that yellow house was a retaliation hit connected to the Grundy family legacy. IMPD has not confirmed that theory. They have not ruled it out either. What investigators have said publicly is this. They believe the shooting was targeted, not random, not a stray conflict that wandered in off the street. Somebody came to that party with a purpose. Who sent them and why is what homicide detectives are still trying to establish as they work through hundreds of leads. Here's what the evidence does show. Just before 1 a.m., a white vehicle was captured on a neighbor's Ring camera moving slowly up North Park Avenue with headlights off. That detail, lights off, is not an accident. That is deliberate. That is someone who did not want to be seen approaching. The gunman or gunmen came to the front door. Masked, Brittany was there. The confrontation lasted seconds. She was shot at point-blank range. The first 911 calls flooded in almost immediately, and when officers arrived, they found a chaotic scene. People in the street, Brittany on the ground, and evidence of an enormous amount of gunfire. Nearly 100 shell casings were recovered across the scene. Bullet holes covered the front of the yellow house. A stray round crossed through an entire neighbor's home. Entered the front window, passed through the couch where their son always sat, went through a wall, and stopped at the back door. 2 additional victims made their way to Methodist Hospital on their own with gunshot wounds. 1 was in critical condition. 1 was stable. A 4th person was also injured trying to leave. Now, some early reporting described a 3rd volley of gunfire coming from inside the house, suggesting people at the party shot back at the attackers. That detail appeared in local coverage but has not been independently verified, and IMPD has not officially confirmed it. The Facebook photo showing weapons at the party exists. Whether those weapons were used that night and by whom is part of what investigators are still piecing together. We are not going to present that as fact. What we do know is that nearly 100 shell casings, multiple victims, and a white vehicle with its lights off point to something that was planned. This was not a misunderstanding at the door that escalated. Someone came there knowing where they were going. The question the streets have been asking since before the sun came up that Sunday morning is, why that house? Why that night? And who was the actual target? There are theories, and it is important you understand there are theories, because IMPD has not connected them officially. The first theory circulating heavily on social media is the retaliation angle. The idea is that the Grundy name on that Facebook post, posted publicly, with weapons visible hours before the shooting, may have signaled to someone exactly where to find people connected to that family. Whether Brittany herself was the target or whether someone at the party was the intended victim and she was killed because she was at the door, that distinction matters enormously and has not been answered. The second theory is that the party itself and the public post drew in conflict that had nothing to do with the Grundy name at all, that this was a dispute between people who knew each other, possibly people who were already at the party or who tried to get in and were refused before the shooting, and that the motive is far more localized than a gang legacy. Brittany's father believes the truth is somewhere outside both of those narratives. This is something totally different, he said. He has not elaborated publicly on what he believes that something is. Here is the detail that has stayed with me since I found it buried in the follow-up reporting. The night after Brittany was killed, less than 24 hours after her body was taken from that doorstep, someone returned to the yellow house on North Park Avenue, and quietly, methodically, they took the decorations down. The banners with her daughter's name, the red carpet, all of it, gone. Think about that for a second. In the immediate aftermath of a homicide, while the investigation is still live, somebody went back to that house and cleaned it out. Who does that? And what were they removing along with the decorations? There are no answers to those questions yet. That detail has not been addressed publicly by IMPD. It may be nothing. It may be exactly what it looks like. As of right now, no suspects have been named. No arrests have been made. The witnesses who were at that party, and there were many teenagers, graduates, family members, have largely not come forward. The wall of silence that follows so many of these cases in Indianapolis has gone up again. Hollis members addressed it directly. He said the only way his daughter gets justice is if someone talks. No one's coming forward, he said. They can only go by the information that they have. Hollis Members has now buried 2 daughters to gunfire. Sheena in 2016, Brittany in 2026. A decade apart, the same kind of loss, twice. His granddaughter, the girl whose name was on those banners, The reason that red carpet was rolled out in the first place has to live the rest of her life knowing her mother died at the door of her prom party, protecting her, doing exactly what a mother is supposed to do. Before I ask you what I really want to ask you, I need you to do something. If this story moved you at all, if you think Brittany Members deserves more than silence, leave a comment below. It takes 3 seconds. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're not subscribed to 3 a.m. Files yet, do it right now. This channel exists for the people whose stories get buried. Your support is what keeps us digging. Now, here is what I want you to sit with. Somebody posted a public photo at midnight showing weapons at a party, and an hour later that party became a murder scene. Is that a coincidence, or is that cause and effect? If the shooting was truly targeted, who at that party was the actual target? And does the person responsible for pulling that trigger believe they got the right person? The decorations were removed the very next night. By whom? With whose knowledge? And what else left that house before investigators could look for it? And finally, if you were at that party, if you heard those shots, if you saw that white car, what would it take for you to make that call to Crime Stoppers? What would it take for you to decide that justice for Brittany is worth whatever you're afraid of? Drop your theories in the comments. I read every single one. And I will see you at 3 a.m.